haven't seen in decades.
The White House press secretary called it a hostile and political act for companies like Amazon to display the cost of tariffs that they're having on consumers. Do you think consumers should know how much more they're going to be required to pay because of these tariffs?
Well, I mean, I think that's a conversation that the folks at Amazon will have to have with the White House, with the president. I think at the end of the day, again, this administration is going to be judged by the results that they get. And if, in fact, they get better trade deals that change the way that other countries have mistreated us or treated us unfairly through the years, people will view it as a success. And ultimately, you will see the economic conditions reflect that. And I think in the end, you're going to have inflation. It will be under control. But I understand, the short-term conclusions that people are drawing, or even some of the polling data that's out there. That is what it is. But the fact of the matter is that when you make policy decisions with a long-term outcome in mind, you've got to have some patience to get there. And I think that the discussion that they're having with Amazon is something that will be a discussion between the administration and the company leadership. But I don't for a minute believe that this administration isn't making the right decisions that lead us to the policy outcomes that are going to make the American people more safe, more secure, and more economically prosperous. We saw that in the first term, and I think they're doing the right things right now. But we've got to wait obviously the outcome of what this tariff debate ultimately looks like.
Leader Thune, on reconciliation, several of your Republican colleagues have asked you to take a very cautious approach when it comes to reconciliation and clean energy, IRA clean energy tax cuts, specifically some of those affecting your constituents, your farmers, sustainable aviation fuel, biofuels, biodiesel. Can you support a more surgical, cautious approach to reconciliation cuts in this area?
Well, I mean, we're going to ultimately what gets included in a reconciliation bill will be determined by what there are 218 votes for in the House and 50 votes in the United States Senate. And obviously there are differences of opinion about some of the various provisions in previous legislation and the one that you noted. And my guess is as we get further into these discussions, we will come up with a plan that gets us to 18 in the House, 50 votes in the Senate, ultimately 51 if the Vice President has to be involved, but to preserve the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act and make sure that we have the right incentives in place for American energy production. And whether that's in the renewable space, the conventional space, I think most of us up here agree that an all of the above energy strategy when it comes to American energy is the right one. And as we work through reconciliation, there will be some give and take, and obviously conversations around some of the energy policies and provisions that are in place today. But at the end of the day, it's about making America not only energy independent, but energy dominant.